What's up, people?
Hello.
Welcome back to Snackcast.
Yeah, man.
So, we're on the book, The Lies My Doctor Told Me by Dr. Ken Berry.
Yeah.
This is episode whatever. I've lost count. Probably not the most interesting chapter, but...
He debunks this one pretty hard, though.
He does.
At it. And anybody that's known anybody... Because this is a fairly common condition, right?
Right.
Does he talk about... I forget. Does he talk about why... We haven't talked about what it is yet. Diverticulitis.
So diverticulitis, the lie.
The lie.
The lie. Popcorn, nuts, and seeds either cause...
Or they get into these pouches.
Diverticulitis.
Right.
Or make it flare up.
So diverticulitis is in the intestinal walls, right? And they get little holes or little
pouches.
Little pouches. And
On the exterior.
And what everyone claims is they get little seeds or popcorn or any of that type of stuff get in there and flare it all up.
Food product.
You're miserable, right? I've never had it. I heard it's pretty miserable.
Oh, it can get infected, blah, blah, blah. But this is another one of those common sense errors, right?
Okay.
Seeds are tiny. Nuts, when you chew them up, are tiny. Popcorn has little pieces that get tiny. So it has to get in those pouches and cause a problem, right? I mean, that's common sense.
Yeah, other food wouldn't do the same?
Bingo. So that's kind of the whole point, right? Is it's another one of those common sense errors that we've been told forever. And, I think we all kind of believe it at some level. If you've ever, read about diverticulitis, I have a family member that has it, and I got to share this with them.
I think one of my family members had it as well.
Right, and they swore off.
Right. Oh, I can't eat popcorn. Right. I'd love to have buttery popcorn.
Right, so what do we know? So the Journal of American... JAMA, J-A-M-A, American Medical Association. The Journal of the American Medical Association.
So. Bad Mama JAMA.
In 2008, they set out to study this and see if it's true, and they published an article. We'll read it at the end. It's actually his homework that he gives us. But they published this article. They studied thousands of people in this study. Mm-hmm. According to Dr. Berry, it was a very well done study.
Okay.
What did they find?
What did they find?
The people that ate the most, mainly nuts and seeds and a little popcorn, had the least number of diverticulitis flare-ups and problems.
That can't be possible, Bob.
It's we're going to link to it so everybody can go read for themselves. But yeah, the people that ate the most were least likely to get it or have a flare-up.
So did he get into, okay. If it's not caused by, again, I go back to the body does amazing things. People have been eating nuts for thousands of years, right?
Right.
Seeds, nuts, the body breaks down, the stomach acid breaks food down, it turns it into soluble everything, right? Goes through the intestines and it goes out, right? So if it's not nuts and seeds, what causes diverticulitis?
Right. Well, the article, he actually tells a story about a patient of his that he referred to a gastroenterologist because of it. And the guy comes back and says, hey, I've been told not to eat these things. And he's like, okay, well, check back with me in a few months. Let me know how you're doing. Guy comes back a few months later, still having the flare-ups, still having the pain, whatever goes along with it, I don't know. But he had totally cut that stuff out of his diet, and that caused Dr. Berry. He was like, I had to do homework. I had to look it up. He said, this is 2012. The article he finds was 2008. And basically completely debunks what a specialist told a patient just months prior, right? So to your point, your question is what does cause it? Some of the things that can cause it. Smoking, for whatever reason, can cause or inflare diverticulitis. Generally being overweight, obesity. Inflammatory medicines like ibuprofens.
Oh, yeah.
Naproxen was in the book. What is naproxen? Do you know?
Naproxen. I think it's like an ibuprofen offshoot. I believe.
Well, it was in the book. I don't know what it is. But
Your ibuprofens, I believe, from what I remember my spouse telling me, she said that the ibuprofens are broken down in the stomach where your acetaminophen are liver related. So, like, if you want to be kind to your liver, it's your ibuprofens, but you're going to pay a price there, right? You want to be kind to your stomach, you take your acetaminophen, but you pick your poison. Quite literally, right. Pick your poison. I mean, nobody likes to sit here and deal with a migraine. I know I don't, but you got to if you're taking these things all the time, you got to dig deeper and go, what's really going on here? Why am I in such pain all the time?
Well, it turned out his specific client was a smoker who was severely overweight and literally was popping ibuprofen like every day for knee pain, back pain, da-da-da.
And probably being overweight caused some of the knee pain and some of the back pain.
Bingo.
So,
again, that circle of nastiness, right?
Right.
That you can never get out of. But, so anyways, it's this is one of those diverticulitis. I had heard about it. I know people who have it. And if you would have asked me prior to reading this book if nut seed popcorn were bad for it, I would go, obviously it's.
I'm almost partially wondering about your Omniprazoles, your Prilosec, your Nexiums. You're interfering with the digestive process as well. Again, not a doctor, don't claim to be, but anytime I think you're like artificially jumping in on those.
You're changing a perfect process for the most part.
Right.
If you are in good shape and if you are healthy, the body's a wonderful machine.
Right.
And, that we take things, I got to stay off the soapbox because Kevin knows that in my life, we're dealing with a few things, nothing big. It's nothing, but it's an education process. And I can get fired up really fast. For all the different ways that we are taking advantage of, frankly.
But again, when we talk about this quite a bit, we go from one symptom and trying to stop that one symptom from rearing its ugly head because we don't want to deal with the actual problem of the symptom causes us to deal with another one, right? Like the aches and pains come from the obesity or from diet-related issues or whatever else. And then I'll go to myself, acid reflux. Rather than limiting your alcohol intake, rather than limiting your sodas intake, rather than limiting your sugar intake, you take an acid reflux medication, which then causes 6 other issues.
Side effects of some sort. Yeah.
Right? Fix the problem.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, some of those things are good for immediate/emergent. Right? You start getting a raw throat from acid reflux, that's dangerous.
Right.
You could die. Right? So that's where I think medications and everything come into place of like, all right, this is a gift. It's a temporary gift to help me figure out what is actually the undercausing issue.
Right.
Not a long-term solution, but medications are never used in a short-term environment.
And it's I'm going to stay away from it because it is soapbox stuff. So, so they rehired me after firing me from forgetting to read the homework last time. So I'll make sure I don't forget. So if you want to look up that article by the Journal of American Medical Association, it is titled Nuts, Corn, and Popcorn Consumption and the Incidence of Diverticulitis Disease. You can find it at the JAMAnetwork.com. JAMAnetwork.com. It was published in 2008. That is the research article that he mentions in the book. I have not read the actual article. Of course, I read the book, but I am going to circle back and read the article on, how do you say, is it JAMA or JAMA? Can I say JAMA?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm going to go
Bad
read it on
JAMA.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Questions, comments, concerns, hit us at snackcast@yes.fit.
Stay moving.
See you.